I was really sort of looking at total market cap, you know, and I was thinking, am I wrong here? And I discovered something which sort of complements my existing thoughts, which I know can be quite scary because I was trying to like disprove my estimations here. So as you know, I've said before, Bitcoin is following the power law pretty damn well. So assuming Bitcoin market share is around 35%, so 35% is actually here. I think it's because it's pretty logical to assume that because there's way more cryptos out there, they're all like taking a piece of the pie. So Bitcoin will be a lot less than the 40%, you know, market share that it's always sort of had. So let's say it's 35%, being very conservative. It just means that if Bitcoin goes to 200K, that gives us an $11.66 trillion market cap. So that's what I've had, you know, in my mind for about a year now, which you've heard me talk endlessly. And then I was looking at, you know, these patterns here, and I was like, there must be a pattern here. Obviously, I had to go to CoinGecko to find the previous market cap high, etc. So, and then I've got this best fit sort of median line, this big blue curve here, and I've said that, you know, my cop out is that it's going to be somewhere in this green circle, which is sort of 5 trillion to, I don't know, 15 trillion, something like that. But let's look at the deviations from this. So this market high over here was a 1900% deviation from high to this curve. And by the way, this is a constant curve. This deviation, this excursion from the curve was 850%. This one here was 215%. So the question I was asking myself yesterday, in a bit more sort of thought, was what's the deviation likely to be? Before I've sort of copped out and went, let's say there is no deviation and it's here, and market cap's only 6.7 trillion. I think that's being too lazy. And guess what? I had a mini revelation yesterday, and I realized, playing around with the calculator, there is a constant decrease here. I know we've only got 3 data points, but there's a constant decrease of 65%. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So on this chart, each of these deviations from this mean line is reducing by 65% or 65.17% or whatnot. So guess what? The answer for this one here is that, well, I hope it is. So the deviation for this one here will be 74.38%. I couldn't quite get it on exactly. But what this means is that with this constant 65% reduction in these sort of excursions, this one will be 74%. This then brings us to $11.8 trillion. And I was like, holy shit, that's pretty close to the 11.66 trillion, which I've been talking about for a while. I thought, interesting. Now that's very dangerous, by the way. So I was very happy. I was, that's a happy coincidence. But it's also very dangerous because when you start looking for bias, confirmation bias, it can get you into a bit of a hole. So yeah. Anyway, so at the moment I'm thinking, yeah, a 74% excursion from this curve, probably not far off. So we're looking at north of 10 trillion, let's say. And then I was just breaking things down even more, and I was thinking, am I being an idiot? Am I too obsessed with BitTensor? And I was really trying to dumb it down, and going, right, okay, let's say it's not 2% market share. Let's just say BitTensor's only 0.5% market share. And let's just say I'm wrong with the market cap as well. And let's say market cap's only 7 trillion and it doesn't have much of an excursion. So we get 7 trillion, 70 billion, 700 billion, 7 trillion. What's 0.5% of that? So 1% is here, divide that by 2. You're still looking at a $35 billion market cap. So that's BitTensor, 0.5% of market share, and it's only a $7 trillion market cap. It gives us this Worst case scenario, the circulating supply will be 10.5 million. It'll actually be a little bit less because the halving is constantly being pushed backwards. But it still gives us $3,333, which is just ridiculous. It is utterly ridiculous. So we're at 287, divide that by 287. We're still looking at an 11x. And that's if I've been massively, massively wrong. 0.5%. Yeah, so going back to these crypto bubbles, we're already at 0.1. Where's Tau gone? Here. We're at 0.1%. So, I mean, yeah. I can't see it stopping at 0.5%, to be honest. The bull market has barely begun. But let's say I'm really wrong. We're still looking at 3,000-ish plus Tau. So yeah, I thought probably worth sharing. But there is a little side note here. The thing that then led me to think was, wait a minute, what if everyone front runs each other and it's not going to be bang on the 1st of December? This curve then changes. So if let's say it's still a 74% excursion, well, what happens if it's, a lot sooner? Let's say it's really bad and it's, I don't know, July 2025. Where does that give market cap? It doesn't really reduce it that much. We're still looking at $10 trillion. Let's say it's even, sooner. I honestly, I cannot see the crypto market peaking in March next year. But even still, that still look like 8 trillion. Like, yeah. Honestly, I cannot stress how much crazy profits you are all going to make in this period here next year. So just bear that in mind.